Whoa, look at all of these Cybertrucks. That's a lot of inventory right now over there. It's about $37 million worth of Cybertrucks. If Tesla can maintain this Cybertruck production rate through the rest of the quarter without dropping the mandatory Foundation Series upgrade price, this will greatly help Tesla's Q2 earnings. Troy has quite a different opinion than most people about what Tesla is going to be releasing soon. Some Tesla fans think Elon said Tesla will release the affordable car, also known as a compact car, the Model 2 or the $25,000 car in early 2025, but that's not actually what he said. Troy thinks he said they will use the existing production lines to release new models, including more affordable ones that use aspects of the next generation platform. From what I understand, the compact has been postponed until 2028. Instead, Tesla will likely release a Model 3 hatchback in 2025, which will be produced at Giga Texas and Giga Berlin. These two factories each have an annual excess capacity of 250,000 units. I think this new model will feature dual casting, a structural 4680 battery pack, a 46.8 volt electrical system, and steer-by-wire technology, and should cost about $2,000 less than the current Model 3. Considering all of the batteries and everything, this new model should be below $30,000 in the US. Gary says, think of the new product as a Tesla Model 2.5, a more affordable $30,000 to $32,000 compact car or hatchback that's smaller than Model 3, which starts at $38,900 and doesn't qualify for the EV tax credit. Could reaccelerate Tesla's growth, especially if it can qualify for even half of that tax credit, and it can be used as a flanker product around the world to compete on price, which might protect Model 3 and Model Y from further price cuts. Yeah, so Troy thinks Tesla is going to release a Model 3 hatchback, and likely this is what it's going to look like. Giga Texas and Giga Berlin are designed to produce this model. I think that's the new model Tesla is talking about, and he expects that Tesla will try to reach 2.7 million units per year in 2027 with its current factories. The current Model 3 doesn't use any castings. It uses a lot of stamped parts welded together. Giga Texas and Giga Berlin don't have the machinery to produce the current Model 3, but they can produce a Model 3 with dual casting. Model 3 Highland was supposed to have dual casting and a structural pack with 4680 cells, but they canceled those changes because 4680 cell production was too low. James actually thinks this does make sense, and Europeans definitely like these hatchbacks. Personally, I have a Model 3. I might like this one a little bit better. I don't quite like an SUV, but this is a bit more practical. A few times I needed to put something in the trunk and the item was just a bit too big, and if the trunk was just a bit higher, it would have been fine. Now, Troy thinks that the compact car will probably be delayed until 2028, but I'm not so sure about that.
We've updated our future vehicle lineup to accelerate the launch of new models ahead of previously mentioned start of production in the second half of 2025. So we expect it to be more like the early 2025, if not late this year. And we think this should allow us to get to over 3 million vehicles of capacity when realized to the full extent.
So Elon specifically referenced the previous timeline, which is the second half of 2025, and previously that was specifically the next generation vehicle. So it would be a little bit weird for him to reference that specifically, but then not have a vehicle that doesn't look quite different from the current lineup. But to a certain extent, a Model 3 hatchback certainly could, I mean, if they call it something different, if they don't call it a Model 3, but something else, yeah, I think that could be in line perhaps with what Elon is saying. But he referenced the previous timeline and he's saying it's now accelerated. So I think Troy has some good points, but I don't think Troy is definitely 100% going to be right about this one. I think there's enough room for debate here. Tesla's 4680 cell production is accelerating. However, I'm not so sure if Tesla would have enough capacity for a new, let's say, Model 3 wagon. But Troy thinks Tesla is likely to stop using the dry battery electrode process, which could boost 4680 cell production in Giga Texas. Meanwhile, Giga Berlin will produce its own 4680 cells. But yeah, Tesla does need to keep moving forward. Look at this one. Xiaomi booth was crowded at the Beijing Auto Show. It's totally packed. Look at all of this. I think Troy is not wrong to say that it would be wishful thinking to hope that this doesn't hurt Model 3 sales in China. The vehicle is already being delivered to customers. The weekly numbers below show 1,600 Model 3s versus 2,500 Xiaomi SG7 deliveries in China between April 8th to 14th. Keep in mind that China's deliveries are always low in the beginning of the quarter, and this SG7 vehicle is still very new, and often the hype dies down quickly, so we'll see soon. But it is something that we want to keep an eye on.